Oh, man. All right. So we are live, everybody. That's my fault that we are late, obviously. Of course, it's my fault. I took a nap hours ago that was supposed to end, and it did not with the alarms and things I set. I guess I need a little more rest in the hospital than I got, but we are here now, and I am so happy to be with Ivan Mikolji, my friend, but also on National or International Photographer Day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, I mean, what a perfect day, right?
Totally.
And how are you doing, Ivan?
I'm doing fine. I've been well, right now we don't have power. I'm running out of a generator. You know, we haven't lost power in such a long time, and 30 minutes before we get on, we lose power, which is like Murphy's Law. You know how it goes.
But, yeah, I sure do.
So, if the power goes back on, probably the generator will stop, and we'll probably lose. You'll lose me for, I don't know, a minute. So entertain everybody while I get back on, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I mentioned to folks, I was like, sometimes the internet there's a little off and on, or they have to do, a blackout or whatever, or whatever happens. But I think, we'll try to see what we can put together. And yeah, literally it's my world map just I broke character. And my dad just walked by the world map. So but anyways, yes, I was gonna say I'm impressed that you're able to be with us even with the power and the internet and everything gone. So
yeah.
What a dedicated guest. I'm not worthy.
Listen, it's a World Photography Day, I guess. But what was it? It's 19th August 19th, 18 what? When photography was invented? Was it the first picture was taken?
Oh, probably
18 something. 1830.
It's got to be the 30s, 1830s.
1839 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know who can look it up.
Yeah.
Hey, I see my brother on. My brother's on here.
Oh, right on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eugenio Mikolji. He's a photographer too, so it's awesome that he's here. He's all the way from Florida.
Oh, very cool.
So
very cool.
Listen, so it's so nice to see you again. Last time I saw you, we were in Sacramento. We were in the Sacramento Findig Aquarium Society. I still haven't put everything back away. I still have the brochures.
Oh wow, man, that was quite the trip. I get a little light on myself too. I've got there we go. Yeah. So, and you got to see the Pacific Ocean. That was pretty cool.
Pacific Ocean for the first time. Yes, and taste it. See how salty it was.
It is salty. Yeah. Yeah. So, how's life since then? You're back in?
I'm back in Venezuela. I got here last month, and I was out for a month and something. So the aquarium, I still haven't gotten to it, and but I've been here and I've been working really hard trying to get back a month of traveling.
Oh man!
So I'm really working hard on the new book that I'm trying to finish before the year ends. Flora of the Orinoco.
And the original book, my favorite. I mean, I read this thing all the time, and I'm not kidding. My parents just came by because like to help take care of me because I was in the hospital recently. And
how are you doing? Huh? Tell that's the important part too.
Oh no, I'm fine. I just had a little cut turned into a massive infection in my blood. And then recently, like since I've even streamed last or anything, I found a rock in my foot again that the
Wow.
surgeons did not remove. And that's what started all this, was that I stepped on a piece of glass and some gravel, and then it got infected, and it ended up being, I don't know, 15 days in the hospital, and like 106. So what is that? A 40-degree Celsius fever or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, like life
Wow.
threatening.
Yeah. Once you
Yeah,
pass 104, 104.5, you're cooking.
yeah, yeah. I was at
You're
100,
yeah,
106.
rotisserie, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I hit 106, so I wasn't even with the earthly realm at that point. But my wife, she was there by my side, and like you met Laura, and
Yeah.
she
How's she
was
doing?
she's very tired of all the doctor's appointments and things
Yeah.
like that, because they also did surgery and did a giant incision from my knee all the way down to my ankle, and then they were going to close that, and there were no trauma surgeons available for 8 days, and so they had to leave it open, which
How does that happen?
I would like to know the same. But apparently, yeah, they were more concerned about opening it and checking and making sure everything was clear first, and doing antibiotic application. But in any case, yeah, so it's been a little bit of a bumpy road, but everything's getting better now, and yeah, I'm good. But you saw my legs, how swollen they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that is all gone at the moment, which is like,
Really? Oh, that's
hallelujah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all semi-related with my autoimmune and with other issues. So it's just kind of been a crazy roller coaster. But I want to get, while you're here, they've already heard me whine about the trials and tribulations of what I've gone through. But I am so happy you're here, and you've traveled. I mean, you've literally traveled the whole hemisphere and bounced back, and you're now working on another book. I mean, this book I have shown on the channel so many times.
Thank you for the advertisement.
Of course. I mean, the beautiful, beautiful pictures that are in that book are, even just like, I'll get one picture, I'll be like, hold on guys, I need to show you what this fish looks like in its natural habitat. And the service that does to the ichthyological, the aquarium community is incredible. I mean, there's just not photos of fish in their natural habitat, and you go out and actually track them down, and the work you do is so inspiring to so many of us that
Well, thank you.
I'm just so happy.
When a colleague like you speaks well about your work, then it makes you feel really good.
Yeah, well, everything from the composition is great, but you get all the details of how many dorsal rays are in there, and how many, so they can really taxonomy or ecology, whatever it is that you're looking for in that shot, you capture all of that so well. And so I'm really excited, that you're working now with, in the next book that you've moved on, you're going to be working with plants. Yeah.
With plants. Yeah. The next one is Flora of the Orinoco.
Flora of the Orinoco.
Yeah. Because once you're there, you start understanding how everything works, then you really can't leave those behind. I've documented them since the beginning.
Yeah.
So, once you're there in these habitats, swimming, for a long time, everything, my priority was the fish. When I started, it was, the fishes were the important part. But after you're there for 18 years, then everything starts to become a blur. And then you really don't know if the rock is more important than is there, or the sand, or the orchid that is on top, over the river. Everything sort of is as important as each other.
Right.
So then, I have to do this book, because I owe it to them. I have more photographs of flowers than of fishes because they don't swim away, so they're easier to capture, and so yeah, there's until today there's 209 species in the book.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's half the book.
Wow. Wow.
So there's probably going to be 400 species. But anyway, listen, my brother here just wrote the first picture was taken 1826 or 1827.
Oh, wow. That's earlier than I thought. Wow.
Yeah.
18.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Today, how many years is that? That's a lot of years ago.
I mean, that's what 190 what 97 years ago or something like that. Isn't that wow, man, that is crazy. Yeah, so we have someone chiming in about the Diamond Tetra, and we're going to be talking about that. But that's Ivan really taught me something, that yes, we have to pick a species, or you end up in nonprofit work or in research, you pick one species, but it's plugged into everything else. I mean, that species could not exist, and Ivan will probably tell you soon, without rock piles. Or without the shadow of a log, or
and once you start losing one, you start losing the other, and it goes, it's like a domino effect, sort of. But it's they're all important. Everything is important,
Right. And so it's so crucial. It keeps coming back to this, though. No matter what it is you love, if you love the dolphins, if you love the orchids, if you love the piranha, whatever it may be, you need to save it all, really. I mean, you need to save that location, and and the more we can, as a nonprofit with the Green Earth Alliance, the more we can either help people to educate or to chart out and know information about each one of those pieces to the puzzle, the more we can save the puzzle as a whole.
Exactly. So people understand, after so many years of going out and videoing and documenting these species, we started describing new species. We started finding new species of plants, of orchids, of fishes, etc. And we noticed that there was some species that were easier to preserve or to help than other species.
Yes.
And not only the species, there were also people that were working with these species that needed support. And Alexander, which has a background of in family, or let's say, I always bring it up. Yeah, I don't know.
My grandfather, is this where you're going with that? Yes, he did. Yeah, he was one of the early, I guess, founders of the Greenpeace and the environmental movement. He'd write the government to petition to save just groves of 40 old growth trees in some forest, and say, no, I know you guys are logging this mountain, but you can't log those ones. And this is the 50s. It's real early, when my mom was a little kid, when she just a baby basically, and he's going up there and saying, nope, you're not going to log these ones. He's World War II era kind of guy, so pretty, it goes back in my family. You've got that right.
Yeah, so a lot of the people that were working with fishes, a lot of people didn't speak English. It was hard for them to get grants. They didn't have enough money to even own a laptop. They needed to,
they even tell us they need them.
Exactly. So we wound up thinking, okay, the best way to do this is with a nonprofit. So it doesn't seem like I'm profiting it out of it. I've actually put money out of my pocket for 15 years to the people, and helping them out. Sometimes but not very often, I say, listen, I have a friend that needs a laptop, and people come and send them the laptop, and I give them the laptop. And so this was a way of formalizing it, right? And have it in a formal way.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just gonna say real quick with questions. If you guys have questions about the Tetra and stuff, we might talk about that more another time. But right now, while Ivan's here with us, we're gonna talk and focus on the nonprofit, which is the Green Earth Alliance, but also Ivan's journey with the Tetra and why we're doing this project right now, basically. And we'll go where the talk goes, but we're going to try to stay on track. So sorry if you guys have other questions. I know some people are just popping in and have no idea what's happening exactly, but I just wanted to explain that, Ivan. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. For 18 years, I was doing this, but for 15, gas was for free in Venezuela.
Right.
So a lot of things could get done. You could go far away. You could drive to the Orinoco with $2 with 95 octane, and fill up my tank, and with $2 go back and forth across Venezuela. Nowadays, things have changed. So preserving a species that is really far away is really expensive. So what I thought the easiest thing to do was to start with a fish that was closer to buy to where I live. And well, we have the Diamond Tetra, which is endemic to the Lake Valencia and Tuy Basin. It should be in all the rivers, even the one the largest river in Valencia where I live is a 5-minute walk away from my house. And it should be there, and it's not, of course. It's a sewer now, so it's not there. But this Diamond Tetra has been going endangered and has lost its habitats because of loss of habitat.
Right.
So for construction, the cities get bigger, the sewer systems don't work as they should, and they get polluted. And the Diamond Tetra is one of those fishes that is the first one to go. Is the one that is one of the most acceptable ones in the river. So it's like the cannery in the coal mine that you used to bring down, right? And when it starts getting polluted, that's the first one to die. So we thought, okay, how are we going to preserve this fish, which is getting loss of habitat? And what we came up with was in national parks.
Yeah.
Venezuela has a lot of national parks, and there's a big one near my house, which is the Moenkhausia pittieri National Park. And there's a stream there called the Limon River, which is the lemon, like a fruit, the citrus lemon river. And there used to be a lot of diamond tetras there in the national park. But back in 1984, 85, or 86, there was a big landslide. It rained it should have rained in 3 months. It rained in an hour.
Right.
And the whole river brought half the mountain down, and the diamond tetras were dragged down by the water current. So the river practically went sterile because the rain put everything down. Yeah. And the diamond tetras could not colonize the river again because it was a sewer. They can't go past the city.
They couldn't go upstream. That was like
they couldn't go upstream because there's a man-made barrier, which would be pollution. Mm-hmm. So they couldn't colonize it again. And the Lake of Valencia is quite polluted too. So the ones that went down probably died.
Right.
So we want
the streams and things that last.
So the stream is there.
Yeah.
The stream is there. It's a national park. It's protected. We know the diamond tetras were there because we have the scientific, how how do you call it, voucher specimens, the specimens
Right.
in flask preserved
Right.
that
That's the
we're
place they were
collecting.
endemic to. That's the only place they were historically. Now they exist all over South America because people let them go. But
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
another story.
But you see, and they were described by Dr. Carl Einhenman in 1920
Yeah.
in the Indiana University.
Yeah. Him and his wife described a lot of stuff. They traveled all throughout South America their whole
Yeah.
lives. Yeah.
And they described it from the Henry Pittieri National Park from that area. So we want to bring the same, we want to reintroduce. It's not introduce a species, because introducing a species is normally a no-no for everybody in
Right.
science. You don't want to introduce a different species from where it's not.
Bringing the woolly mammoth back.
Yeah,
And so forth.
or relocated, where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But here, historically, it was there. We
Yeah.
got everything, all the science, all the history, and the specimens and voucher specimens that say Rio Limon. 19. Last time it was collected there was in the 1950s, I think. So we're reintroducing the species,
Right.
which is, but it's not only that one. There's 5 or 6 or 7 species that are sympatric, that live with the diamond tetras in all the other streams,
Right.
that have to be reintroduced, but they don't have the charisma. If I
Right.
tell you, I don't know,
The little carrots.
Tetragramopteris, I don't know what,
Right. Yeah.
So
a little silverfish that nobody knows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We want to do it with this one, which has the charisma and people know, and it's in a national park. So it usually things don't align as well as they have aligned with this.
Right. And they'll stay protected. There's even also the extra protection of the fact that just downstream where the pollution is, there's also an oil pipeline that they had protected with a little bridge.
Yeah.
And that, if they are to keep that up, then everything downstream from that, I mean, they'll probably keep guarded off, even, for national security reasons and things, for energy reasons, which is great for us upstream of that area.
Yeah, but they're protected in a national park, and they have all that area in the national park. Again, they weren't like, it's not like they fished or they were polluted out or they were killed. They were just it was a natural disaster event. Who knows, once in every 500 years. I don't know how many. It hasn't happened again.
If it weren't for humans, though, they may have survived in some side stream or the Limon River, but unfortunately with that pressure and the natural disaster.
And 1984 probably doesn't seem that far away for many of us, but if you put it into context, it's many years ago. Right?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So it's not like it happens every year.
Yeah.
So now, to get things to do this, we wanted to do it well done. We didn't want to do it, the aquarium hobbyist.
Ivan takes a bag of fish and he tucks it into the river.
And chucks it into no, like it puts the bag floating on the water,
and they're acclimated.
Waiting. And putting a little cup, of water in it, and no, we wanted to do it the correct way, which is including scientific, institutions that can do it in a standardized way, that can leave a historic record. So, we know what day we put how many, and then we could do a follow-up every month and go there. And it's 40 minutes away from my house. It's not that far. It's something that is doable. It's
incredible how the stars aligned on this. I mean, it's
totally
due to your hard work and investigation and curiosity and going out and actually doing it. But I mean, I want to inspire other people. look around your area and see what it is. I mean, for me, it's salmon in the area and things, but you never know where you live, what you may be able to impact. But continue what you were saying. So, sorry, I just think that that's really inspirational. That you
Oh,
reached out. You're
totally.
like, I'm going to talk to the Natural History Museum. I'm going to talk to the ichthyologists, and we're going to see what needs doing around here.
Yeah, I was told once the more the merrier. You
Yeah.
know, so I don't want to do it myself. You know, I think that it should be done with you know I'll take the underwater footage. You know, that's what I can do, and take the underwater pictures of them, and sometimes it's easier with a picture to count them underwater, the fishes when they're still,
Yeah.
than count them when they're like moving.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how much I can do, but what I can do is align things. You know, like
Yeah.
the alliance. You know, I can align, uh, looking for the sponsorship, and speaking to you guys in English, which is,
That's huge. Yeah.
and then getting the people that are raising them. We found the people that are raising them here from, not from stock that who knows where it came from or how many years of inbreeding it has. They have it from one of the places that they're still from the wild, and they got they got like 40 fishes or 30 of them,
Hmm.
and now they have hundreds.
Right.
So
They've been
of
breeding them.
the original, so before they start inbreeding again, we probably should start,
Yeah.
putting this together and
Time is
starting.
of the essence
Yeah,
on this kind
we
of.
we we're starting to work, but we haven't gone full on this
Yeah.
for the reasons that we have here in the elections and stuff. But hopefully now we're still working behind the scenes. We're aligning everything, seeing how, putting together how we're going to do it. And one of the ichthyologists that was going to work with us is traveling. He's in Spain right now, so we're you know he we're working, but we're working slower as
Yeah.
that I would want to. But we are doing something.
Yeah. You like to work very quickly
Too
and
fast.
just go and do it.
Go and do it. Yeah, yeah,
Get
exactly.
it done.
But
Uh,
it's not
Science takes time.
things. Yeah, science, it has to be done correctly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I mean, just also so folks get it. Like, you got to get approval for the survey, and then approval to go in the national
oh,
park.
red tape for everything. There's red
Yeah, for
tape for
everything.
everything. Yes, yes.
And also, I just want to say thank you so much for being the touch point down there, because I can't go to Venezuela.
Yeah, like,
I don't speak Spanish anywhere well enough to even communicate with anybody about anything fish related down there. I could be like, hey, where's the restroom?
exactly.
So I mean, that's also what we're all about, and why we want to reach out to the internet, the world at large. Whoever's listening, is maybe you speak a language, maybe you live somewhere or have family somewhere where these points need to align. We need to create a network of people who care, and so that we can do things like say, hey, this needs attention, this needs preservation, or this needs, in this case, it's just incredible the way you've done some investigating and found this is like a perfect setting waiting for
Perfect
those
setting.
fish to come back, and it has even like rebounded naturally as an ecosystem, it turns out. But those fish are just the missing,
Yeah.
and they're the also the charismatic and beautiful species that's missing.
Yeah. But speaking about the red tape is like that anywhere. I imagine
True.
reintroducing a species into a national park anywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's like putting wolves back in Yellowstone or something.
totally, totally.
It's
That's
and it's
yeah,
not always. You may think it's simple, but it may impact fishing regulations down the or whatever. So people can get there can also be pushback, and so that's why we can help grease the wheels of all of these things. By helping fund all these kinds of things, and by knowing, oh, I've got an ichthyologist that can work on that, or I've got
totally. and the botanists, and with that,
right,
and the person who will do the water chemistry or the insects, etc.
right. And
There's
we'll have to
there's
send some of that out, right? For some of the testing or whatnot, or
well, I've done the testing with the, how do they call them, Nutrifin, or
oh,
Hagen,
okay.
or whatever,
Yeah,
the
the little
aquarium ones
test
that
kits. Yeah,
that I have at home for my aquarium.
yeah,
But those electronic things, not only are they expensive, they're
yeah,
expensive. That you need the buffers, you need the
yeah. You need the new
it's
little petri dish and the
and you need the
yeah,
so they need an upkeep and everything, and if you don't have sponsorship, not even for the $2 gas tank, then you're not going to buy that. So
right,
once, if we get some money rolling, we'll get that. But the river is not polluted. There's nothing in the top. It's a national park, so it's exactly the same as it was for, I don't know,
that's
millions of years or whatever.
yeah,
So it's really not a priority, probably, as much as it is to see if there were any predators that got introduced, for example, like tilapia or something, or that
right,
shouldn't be there. So those things, are things that I went to see. I didn't see any, but I should do another recognition there and see what what is in there still. And but one thing is since I got a little bit of that presentation, I should probably present it.
yeah. I think people would love to see that if you're able to with the power outage and everything. I understand if you're working with any troubles or limitations, but
Wait, let
yeah,
me
if you want
see.
to try to pull that
Share
up,
screen.
yeah.
Okay. Select tab to share window.
Let's see where it should pop up for me in one moment, but let's see.
Share.
Oh, here it comes.
There we go, right?
Yeah, so it's
You guys see this?
yeah, let me add this to stage. So I can butt out of here if you would like to explain what's going on a little bit. I would love to turn
Well,
it
I don't
over
know if
to
you see my cursor.
you. Yes, we do.
Okay, so here is the Lake of Valencia Basin, and this river right here is the Tui River. So this is where the diamond tetras are endemic. Now, you see that there's a white margin right here between all of this, and this is just mountain ranges. This is the Andes. The end of the Andes is right here. And here you've got a mountain range, which is the coastal mountain range in Venezuela. So the Lake of Valencia is in between a valley that it has no way of the water to go in or out. To go out. There's water stays in there. And the Tui Basin is born in another valley, and it just goes straight into the ocean. So it's a basin that doesn't touch anything. It's just in the middle of the mountains. So that's what makes it so endemic. There's the rivers here go into the Orinoco, and the ones in the north go to the sea. The ones in between these valleys are by themselves. So the Lake of Valencia, the rivers are mountain rivers. This is what you see. They're composed of pools, riffles, and flats. These are, for example, the flats. And the diamond tetras hang around more in the pools and in the flats than in the riffles. We did a video. We did a video for the World Fish Migration Foundation. And after we did a video for them, they were asking us if we knew of a bridge they could tear down in Venezuela. And this was the bridge that we told them about. This is the bridge in El Limon River. So this is what El Limon River looks like. And this is the bridge that Alexander was talking about. This river divides the bottom part of El Limon River and the top part. The top part is national park, and the bottom part isn't. But you see, the fishes can't go upstream, and we checked the bottom part and the top part, and there's practically the same fishes. So we in the top there's no cichlids, there's guppies, there's some chetostoma, but the diamond tetras and some other tetras that should be with them are not there. We were there taking in the Limon River. We were taking the pictures for the fishes de Orinoco in the wild, the one that Alexander was showing you. We're taking pictures of the plecos and other fish that are there, and the Poecilla reticulata. These pictures were taken in the river for the book. So there's guppies in there, and so I was taking we were swimming in this pool down here. It was this ichthyologist who just passed away, Manuel Gonzalez, and we were swimming in that, taking those pictures, and I asked him, "Listen, why aren't there any diamond tetras in this pool? There should be here." And he was the one that told me, "Listen, there was diamond tetras here, but in September 9th, 1987, there was the landslide, and since that day, we haven't seen them anymore." So this is in Los Angeles Times. So this is a aerial map of the area. This is the Lake of Valencia, and this is El Limon River. So all this up here is national park. All of this. There's no buildings. It's a very, very large area of national parks. So we're just going to do one river, which is El Limon River, just to try out, right? So when we spoke to the World Fish Migration Foundation about the diamond tetras, they said, "Listen, we can't help you guys in funding or do anything with you guys with the river because the diamond tetra is not assessed in the IUCN Red List." The IUCN, the International Union of Conservation of Nature, is the one that does the Red List book. And the diamond tetra was not assessed. So the funding for these fishes are for the ones that are in the Red List. So what we did is that we got a list of 90 species, and we started assessing them for the IUCN. Now, normally, a UCN, you do like 2 or 3 pages, an article is explaining why it's endangered. We did, for example, the articles we wrote for the IUCN, the Diamond Tetra article for them for the assessment was 50 pages long. The other fishes that we did that were, endangered as well were 28 or 25 pages each. So we did really good assessments, really complete assessments of the freshwater fishes. Here's the list of the 91 species we assessed. We still have like 15 to go to finish. But one of the first ones we did was the diamond tetra. So the other thing we needed was somebody to breed them, because you can't just take an endangered species out of a habitat to reintroduce into another one. The correct way would be to breed them and then get those, the offspring, and then reintroduce those so you have a lot of them. So I went to the Aquarium of Valencia, and they were, to my surprise, they were breeding them. I don't know if this will share my audio. I can try.
All right. Can you hear me at all, Ivan?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just was going to say, yeah, I don't think we're getting sound,
Oh,
unfortunately, but I mean, the video is beautiful and it shows what, maybe if you want to just freeze it here and just describe a little bit of like how they're spawning in that tank, it's
oh yeah.
kind of fascinating how they naturally do that.
Yeah. So in the aquarium of Valencia, here in Valencia, Venezuela, they got 33 of these fishes of the diamond tetras from one of the local streams where they're still left, and they put them in this huge tank. The tank is about 6 meters, so 18 feet long, and about 6 feet wide, and 6 feet tall. So what they did is they put them in here, and these 33 specimens, and now they have hundreds of them. So they put these tree trunks in here, these roots, and this is where the diamond tetras pair off. The males and the females, they start their courtship in between these roots or driftwood. Then once they pair off, the male goes inside this wall or pyramid of rocks. Inside, it's like sort of hollow. They did like let's say it's rounded, and inside it's hollow. And then they enter and they lay their eggs in here.
Yeah.
So they've been able to breed these in this community tank. So if we do a couple of these more rocks here, a couple the whole wall of rocks and more of these roots, we're going to get a lot of diamond tetras to reintroduce.
So the babies, do you know, do they grow up in that rock structure kind of like for the first few months?
Well, what happens is that the filtration system they have is at the way end, at the end of the of the tank, and for some reason the fry go there by themselves, and they stay where the current is stronger.
Okay.
They don't hang around in the other end where they're pairing off, where the water is slower. So probably the diamond tetras fry go more towards the riffles, and the mature ones that are in breeding age probably go to the flats and to the pools in the river. So and they got the permits not only to collect them, they can also get the permits to reintroduce them. So that's pretty cool. And this aquarium is around 6 minutes away from my house.
Wow. And so is it just indigenous fish to Venezuela there, or what?
Yeah, they specialize in freshwater fish because the maintenance is easier. It's cheaper.
Well, I mean, also it's like you guys have some of the best fish in the world. So
yeah. So yeah, no, totally. But it also is easy. It's cheaper to fill this up with water, with fresh water, than with salt water, right? Mm-hmm. So they have a lot of these, many of these tanks. They have around, I don't know, 20 or 30 of these.
Wow.
And so they have Oscars, they have Rams, and some they have, you know,
they have your
Astronatus Mikolji, yes. Yes, they have.
Right.
Yes,
on.
They have.
He has a fish named after him, folks.
Astronatus Mikolji.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have big electric eels, you know, with a light bulb, and you know, the light bulb goes off, and you know, and the speaker goes off, and the kids love it, you know.
Yeah.
So the other thing we needed were proof that the diamond tetras were in the Limon River, and then there are now. So we went to investigate. And here's the scientific description in March 1920 by Carl H. Einherman, and this is the scientific description of it. And if you read the rivers, it's right there where the El Limón River is in El Consejo. So it's the same, all the same rivers. So the proof that diamond tetras were there is we went into the database of the museums here, that ichthyological museums that carry all the scientific physical archives of the fishes that have been collected.
It's wonderful that's in place still. I mean,
yeah,
it can be tricky to find sometimes that kind of information. So
exactly. So here it says that in the Central University in Caracas, Moenkhausia pittieri, 28 samples were collected in 1974. In El Rio Limon, there's other fish species, nodus, hemibricon, from El Limon. Look at these are all from the Limon River. So you see there's Bricon americanus, Astianax, Caragrutus. These are all missing. The Caragrutus are missing. The nodus, hemibricons are missing from the river. Poecilia are there.
Oh yeah,
and
and they've got a beautiful orange stripe on all the guppies there.
Totally.
They're very interesting. It makes me wonder if they might be like Poecilia lineata, or some new variety. They're similar to like swamp guppies, like
Poecilia, well, Engelmann in that scientific description of the diamond tetras, he described a lot of fish. There's like 15 species. It's not just a diamond tetra. He described many. But here's the sample. So, and Maracay Estación Piscicultura is right in that bridge where we were. So we went and saw the samples. They have the samples in storage. And then the only thing we needed was the link, which was the Green Earth Alliance. So that's how
put it all together.
How we put it all together. So that's things align this easy. I can't believe things can align this easy, but they did.
Well, so, you say easily, but I mean, this is also, Ivan forks out $300 for somebody who needs to take their family member to the doctor, or there's a computer needed, or there's a camera that needs film, or it's
years of that.
It's been years of you being a patron of ichthyology in your local area, and so thank you, first of all. But second, like the Green Earth Alliance, me, your sister Yelka, we wanted to create this thing to alleviate that, so that you don't get a divorce. I mean, so that it's easier on everyone. No, because you and I would both travel on a crazy wild goose chase, or maybe not a wild goose chase, but on a crazy side journey to go save or do these things and spend lots of money if we were unchecked.
Oh, totally. And without adult supervision,
right.
You imagine? So, reasonable supervision, the demented 2 Aquarius, driving around.
So luckily, your sister too is in on this with us. She's the third leg to create a table that's stable, on the Green Earth Alliance. And yes, this was a ton of work for Ivan. I mean, his whole life is a ton of work and a testament.
It's a life's work. It's a life's work.
All of this, and I do highly recommend people. Where can they get this book, by the way?
This way.
So, this way. Okay. Yeah. So
they can get it on my website or on Amazon.
Okay.
That will help too.
So yeah. So that I mean, that can help like feed Ivan now. But we're with the Green Earth Alliance in the future, and with the channel here, we're going to try to move forward, doing projects like this. We're working on this one, but we really would love to empower voices and groups that don't always get heard internationally. And so we need more folks also like Ivan, where you have a link and you can be the bridge from some rich person in New York that I might know, or in LA or something, that wants to help, or a company, or a university, and
sometimes not even rich, because like right. 100 like whatever, like will help.
Well, yeah. Do you want to tell a story, that story about the jars, perhaps? I mean,
there's many things that we need to do here. For example, there's these ichthyological museums. There's museums that took 50 years of killing fish all over the country to have the when I say killing, is collecting and putting into the physical archive in museums what we have, the inventory. So when you want to know if there was Moenkhausia diamond tetras in that river, you have the scientific sample, and you can count the scales and whatever the rays and whatever, and it is the same fish, and you don't have to go there. The same happens with remote rivers. You don't have to go to the middle of the jungle. They're already there. But once they're there, you need to upkeep them. You need to put alcohol in them. They first put them in formaldehyde, and then they pass them to alcohol. And then you have to upkeep that alcohol that evaporates. And many of these flasks are not, even though they're like mayo jars, and they start leak. They don't leak, but they evaporate in time. After 5 years, they evaporate. So you have to add these.
Imagine 100 years since 1920.
Yeah, but you have
specimens can get.
You have 30,000 flasks, to fill up. So you need like 600. You need 3 drums of alcohol. So we need money to buy the drums, because if you don't buy the alcohol, you lose 50 years or 60 years of, let's say, killing fish, of going out and looking for them. That's expensive in time. Because remember, the most expensive thing is time.
Yeah.
So
just getting it done, just being
take the initiative. Some of it not even there. Like if you wanted to get the diamond tetras there, they're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's very important for us to find the alcohol for these places, and not only the alcohol. There's some of these museums that don't have a catalog. So we need to photograph. Sometimes you scan these fish and you put it in a PDF, and you have the catalog of all the fishes, all the samples that they have. So you don't have to go there, and look for it. So there's a database.
I've been doing now for years,
and I can do them too, and I can go, and it's easier. But this has to be done, and I can't do it all. He
can't take pictures of every fish in every river, the neotype and the.
I can, there's people that can do this too, which would be probably even cheaper than me doing it. So we just have the scientists that work there do it. But you give them the scanner. They probably just need the scanner, or they need the camera.
Right.
Listen, we found a computer, a laptop. There's this friend of mine in the Orinoco River in the Amazonas in Puerto Ayacucho that went every day to the port. And for, I think, 30 years, she wrote down on notebooks. For example, I don't know, July 3rd, 1972. And she wrote all the fishes that the fishermen came into that port with, because they're small fishermen in boats. So she'd get the brachyplatystomos and she'd measure them.
Wow.
And because they weigh them to sell them, she'd get the weight and she'd write it down every day.
That's incredible.
Almost every day, only when she wasn't sick or something, when she was sick, she didn't go. But she did this, I don't know, for 30 or 40 years. So she could, if she wanted to put that in a computer so she could see the fluctuations of how big the fishes were before to the ones now, how many you could fish now and before each boat, how many they're fishing.
Incredible.
And we found her the laptop, because she didn't have money to buy the laptop to do this, a computer,
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that are valuable.
And they're within reach. That's the incredible thing that the Green Earth Alliance wants to do, that we want to do, is there's so many of these projects that need $400 or 300 or whatever it may be, a computer literally, or internet service for a few months, or whatever, Wi-Fi.
And not a cool computer, just like
like an old Lenovo.
It doesn't have to be a touch screen or anything, just one that gets internet.
And then that is adding to the global knowledge base. That becomes a record that is now backed up. And it's just right now, there's so many sources of knowledge that could dead end if we're not careful. And, Venezuela by no means is the only place. America, the United States, all over the Americas has this issue, but the United States in particular, we have this issue with, little parks and zoos and just different places. But really, when you start looking at the older records, that go back over 100 years. That's where, you know, sometimes a very small amount of money can be used and volunteer time to translate and digitize these very crucial records, which then become a living record and can inform the future, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Scientific record, you know?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, even your book, I want to just shout it out again because I love this book more than any other book on fish in, yeah, let me pick a good page. There's so many good pages, but you know, you got a book that shows the habitat. It shows what they do in a group a lot of times. It shows, you know, the algae and the moss and all these things that maybe aren't the prettiest thing on their own, but together they're an ecosystem. And I mean, like that picture. Oh, come on. That picture right there of the fish and the flower underwater is like incredible. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. There we go.
Well, the book just says what they do. That's all. It's like if I were in the river narrating what the fish is doing, that's all there is in the book.
Yeah, it's just like a National Geographic special for 200 species. That's all.
Yeah.
Come on, Ivan. Don't be so modest.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not being modest. I'm just saying that it's. I really try to put the information of what the fish was doing in the wild, because you see all these people that go and they collect the fish and they put them in a bag and they, you know, and they show you the bag, but you really don't know what the fish is doing, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, so I wanted to do that. I wanted to tell the people, listen, this is the, you know, a day in the life of the epistogramma. What does it do? Okay, this is what it does. It's the most important part of what it does.
Well, so and it's incredible when, you know, you find that link that may be lost forever otherwise of, oh, this fish only spawns in coconuts, or, you know, some weird little
or that rummy-nosed tetras just follow stingrays around and picks at the stingrays' backs.
That
you know,
so it's like
the cleaner fish in the, you know, in the ocean.
And that's probably, you know, protein and all sorts of other things that we miss out in their diet in the aquarium. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure they're getting supplemental somewhere, but it's absolutely.
But if you're in the river and you see the rummy-nosed tetras going straight back and forth, it's perfect. But once you see them going around in circles over the sand, you know, there's a stingray there, and you look and there's a stingray, and they start pecking on it when it comes out of the sand.
Wow. Imagine, I mean, I'm sure you're a wealth of knowledge, but imagine, you know, if you sit and watch for a while, all the things you can tell, oh, the water's a little harder, or it's running faster because the fry from this species are hanging out there. I mean, it's just incredible how you can read a river.
Exactly, because that's what they're doing, you know, the fryer on that side, you know, in the river, the riffles would be that.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't see them because the big ones are not there. The fryer there probably, you know. But this is all you have to go there, and you have to spend time in your stream.
Yeah. And you've done that though. I mean, that's the trick is you can't just ask someone to study up on being there for 30 years. You know,
yeah, I've swallowed a lot of water.
Yeah. So so that's why I want everybody to know, like, thank you so much for being here on the channel, for spending some time, because you're a very busy man. You are always working on something or talking to someone, and it is very impressive. And I don't want to take up any more of your time today than needed, but do you have any last, you know, thoughts or things that you'd like to share with my crowd? I mean, now I think they kind of get what we're doing with the fish, and you know, we couldn't announce a lot of this because we didn't have all the moving pieces and hadn't talked about the red tape and just, you know, but now it's out of the box as it was at FinDig, thanks to people like Luke and Nico for organizing that in Sacramento. But
Luke is awesome.
Yeah,
his planted aquariums are outstanding.
Oh yeah, he is a very talented guy for sure. Yeah. But yeah, what I always like to let my guests have the last words. We don't have to wrap it up right away, but I think we can do question and answer in the future some other time. I really just, with your power being out and everything, I'd like to
out of years of knowledge, and my best advice is to remember to brush your teeth twice a day. After you eat in the morning.
And the second time, just in the river, just shake your head.
Tie your shoes. What can I say? Take the time to bring, if you have kids, go to the river, take them there, get their feet wet, and
make a nature tank.
Yeah, that's
bring a tank, a little
to create
tank.
empathy. Yeah, to create empathy. That's towards nature. More in this digital era. We need to bring them out and get their feet wet.
Yeah, touch the water, touch the grass.
Touch the water. Yeah. See how salty it is.
Yeah. Ivan, when we see the Pacific Ocean, he goes, I'm gonna go see how salty it is. I was like, man, this guy's he's a real deal. He really is gonna figure out how salty it is by tasting. That put such a big smile on my face. I took pictures of you doing that just because magical. But thank you for coming. Thank everybody for watching. And I'll have more info about this and about the nonprofit in the near future. How you guys can volunteer or you can help out. We're kind of just starting, and this is really our first real project that we've sunk our teeth into as a nonprofit. And Ivan, I just can't thank you and your sister. I know she's not here right this moment, but enough for all the work you've been doing. It's incredible, and we all owe you a debt of
Thank
gratitude.
You so much.
I mean, it's so much work what you've pulled together, and
No, thank you for your help too. You're thanks to you, we are where we are.
Well, hopefully I can be a clown on the internet, and then we can still draw some people in. But thank you for your time, guys. We're gonna wrap this one up. But thank you for sharing. We've got, if you go to the Green Earth Alliance website, which is just greenearthalliance.org, right? Is it? I always mess that up. I think it's .org rather than .com. But yes. I think there's still a sign up sheet on there. Last I looked. If there's not, I'll be eating my words. You guys can just email me, but there should be a sign up sheet on there. If you guys have a way to help out, if you're a biologist, if you're not a biologist, but you just have time and you want to help take pictures at your local this or that museum, or you've got an idea, we're crowdsourcing a lot of this, and we get these leads. We do this networking through people like you, through people like Ivan, through people like me. But Ivan, I really do appreciate it, and thank you for somehow showing up when the power was out, even though I'm
still out. The power's still out.
Wow.
Oh no, no, it came back. We didn't even notice.
Oh wow. Well, I'm glad it's back.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time, you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for sure on. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, and we can rally back around and cover anything you guys want to know about that tetra and spawning and breeding and color and pictures. We'll go over that tomorrow. But I wanted to really take your time and hear about the story of how we got here. So thank you so much. I want to say, Dr. Mikolji. Like, I feel like you need an honorary one. Like, seriously, you spent so many years doing this.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
That'd be awesome. Because that helps a lot. Because many of the grants, you need to be,
right.
That would really help. Yeah. It gives you the credibility and the authority.
Right. We need to get you one of those honorific titles from a university.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's my next project. Okay.
That would be awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you later.